Google, but see something like why to go for the Google when you can write a code, run the code and get the output which you may find on the Google. Get it? So these are the function you see: append function, clear function, copy function, count function, extend function, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort, and many more. Comfortable? So this is the list function. Now you will say, Rajesh, I want to know the functions, list of function which is available for tuple. So this is the code. Copy it. This is a tuple under the parenthesis. Okay, what is the difference between all these things? I'll talk about it one by one and so on. So here, this is the function. Same way you will run, and here these are the function which is available in the tuple. Now you'll say, Rajesh, what are the function with the dict or set or something like that? So here, this is the set function, which you can check it out also. And this is a dictionary function, which you can check it out. So same way, you can get it also. So guys, how to find out the function for each data types? Are you comfortable so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, see, you can also format the string in the Python. So if you look at this here in the slides, name is equal to Python BO, that's a string. Machine is also string. So here you can also format it. So here, how to format it? So there's one function called format function. And format function, whatever way you write, that will be printed. So name and machine will write. So it will be first name will be set in the 0 curly braces 0, and the string will be curly braces 1, like that. Now if you can also put it in a simple way, f automatically the string and the name and machine, so that is also you can do that. So string function, which will help you to do the format. Now there's a boolean data types which you have. So here if you see that Python course, which is a boolean, it can be true or false, and depends on that you can do that. So you can convert any booleans to the integer also. So how do you do that? Look at this here. Python course is boolean, which is a true. You are converting to the integer value, which is 1 and 0. So something like that you can also do that. So now next data type is a list. So what is a list? So list is a sequence of values similar to an array in other programming language, but more versatile. So here some of the characteristics of the lists are: lists are ordered. That means list, remember the order of the item inserted. That means index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lists are ordered. Dictionaries are not ordered. That means you can keep in the key and value format in any order you can keep it. Okay, in non-order also you can keep it. How do you access the list? You can access the list using index. Okay, so list can contain any sort of object. So inside the list, the element you can keep it in a number, string, tuple, and any other list also you can keep it. Lists are changeable, mutable. That means you can change that. So you can change the list in place, add new items, delete or update existing items also. Remember that this is the interview question. Lists are mutable. Okay, this is the example of the list. You see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the index, and you have a similar elements also. So if you want to print any particular values, you have to call the name of the list and then index. Okay, so if you see the left side, I think you will be comfortable, most of you. List index started with the 0, but if you see that 0 colon right side, that means from index 0 to print everything to the last of it. Here again, if you want to not start everything, you want to print it second one. If you want to print only 2 to 3, that means the index 2 to 3, then here it is. You want to print from 1 to 3, here it is. You want to print from from the 0 up to the 4, that means it will print the 3. So this is also, you can play with the index. Now there is a one concept called negative index that is very important. You should understand that. So here when we say this is the one list you have, the elements are PROBE, index for this is a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in when you talk about the negative index, then 0 usually become a -5, -4. One first second element, which is the index number 1, will become a -4 like that. So negative indexing also you can use in the programming. Sometimes it's very helpful for it. Are you able to understand this? All of you?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah. Any questions so far, guys? Okay. So here, see that this is a blank list without any value, and then here you have. Now, how do you work with the list? So if you want to print any of the list, so here you can use this 0 to negative index -1 Jessica and all stuff like that. Here also you understand this changing the list element. So here you look at this here, you are changing the first element from 0 because lists are mutable. You can change the values to 0 to James. You are changing, so the results will be student underscore names here, James, Katrina, Jessica. Okay, so some of the function of the list which I have shown you, function such as function append function. Here you have in function, a length function, delete functions, and stuff like that. So yes, you can work with the functions which will help you. So append function which will help you to add one more element to the end of it. Okay, so here you are adding the homer, which is the one function. If you are trying to set that 3 is equal to homer, that will not work. Append, you have to use append function for that. Here mark in student names, here it will return the true and false, whether the mark which is the element in the student names or not accordingly. Len is a function which will give you the number of elements in the list. You want to delete the some of the elements, so del you can use the function and you can specify the index number 2 and you can delete that. So this is the way you can also work with the list of functions with the list. If you want to work with the slicing, you can also do that slicing. How can you do the slicing? So there is a one list, you can see the element is Mark, Katrina and Homer, and you are trying to slice the only print the things which is like after the index number 1. So how do you do that? So index number 1 and after that is equal to Katrina and Homer. So you can slice this also like that. You want to slice the more elements like 1 up to the -1, that will return the Katrina. So in the negative index you can provide the range also. You want to print the list elements, I think you know that. That's not. So guys, this is list. Now I will discuss about the difference between the list and array and tuple, set, and dictionary. So these are the very important one. This is the only topic which is very important one in Python. Why? Because most of the questions in the interview they ask from here only. They'll ask you to write a code which includes array or list or tuple or set or dictionary. So you need to prepare more, and that's the reason I have a dedicated post on it. So guys, any questions so far, all of you?
No, all good for me.
Okay, so now the question is, by the way, this questions is for other programming language perspective also very important. So what is the difference between list, array and tuple? So list is mutable. That means you can change the values. Array is also mutable, but tuple is immutable. That means you cannot change the value. Remember that. So list is ordered. That means you can access the list from the index. Array is also ordered. You can also access the array from the index using index. Whereas tuple is also an order. So all this list, array and tuple is ordered one. Whereas set and dictionary is not ordered one. So that you have to remember that. Item in the list can be changed or replaced. List you can do that. Item in array also, because it's a mutable, you can change and replace. Item, this cannot be changed or replaced. So if someone will ask you, hey, I have a one tuple, that's they'll try to trick you out. They'll say, I have a one tuple, okay, and I want to replace the sum of the values of it. So can you do that? So you have to answer that it cannot be replaced because tuple is immutable. And if you want to change some of the values in the collections of element, then use the list type or array type, something like that. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So list can be store more than one data type. So here in the list, element can be integer, it can be array, it can be another list also. Whereas array can store only similar data types. So in array, you can store only the integer or only the string, like that. And in tuple can store more than one data type also. Okay, so remember that. So list and tuple, you can store them more than one data type. Now, what is immutable? You understand that something which can be changed. Immutable, which cannot be changed. Ordered means which can be accessed through the index. Unordered means which cannot access through the index, but key and value pairs. Okay, so now let's put it in the context of list, tuple, set. So here list and tuple, list mutable, tuple immutable, set is also immutable. But list is ordered, means index. Tuple is also ordered, but set you don't have order. That means indexing is not there in set. Here, indexing and slicing, can you do with the list? Yes. Tuple also you can do that. Set you cannot do that. Duplicate elements you can you have in the list? Yes. Duplicate elements can you have in the tuple? No. Yes, sorry. And set you cannot have it. So that means set will have only unique element. If someone will ask you, hey, how I want to design the data types in which I have only the unique collections of element. So what should I use? Should I use the list or tuple? So you should say no, you should use the set type, because that will not allow the duplicate elements at any given point of time. So this is the way you need to know that. Little bit more context, list, tuple, dictionary, set is given. Now this is, I feel, which is very important. Again, please remember that how do you differentiate between the list, tuple, set and dictionary? So here that constructor, look at it, an example that is important. Keep in mind, I think immediately you will not have it, but if you practice it, you'll get it. So he list you can always present in the square bracket. Tuple also always in the parenthesis. Set always in the sorry, curly braces, and dictionary always in the curly braces. Okay, will you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is something which you have to remember that. This is also a very good one, but I'll not complicate too much. And but I would request you to study this one and all the examples you have here about the list, array, tuple, sets, and stuff like that. Okay, so now after understanding the what are the data types and what are the operators which we have in the Python, now we'll get into the conditioning. How to set the condition in Python. So let's get started. So here Python if else elif statement. So yes, in Python we have to set the condition using if else elif statement. So if statement where you can use it to exclude the block of code if a specified condition is true. Else, I mean, more or less we understand if this is true, then run this code. Else, do this. Elif, continue. That means it's a replacement for the else if actually. So use it to specify a new condition to test if the first condition is false. Okay, so look at this, the structure of if statement. If condition is true, run the statement or come out of it. Here, look at this one example here. X is equal to 7, y is equal to 5. If x is greater than y, which is actually, then print x is greater. Whereas you, instead of if x is greater than y, here you can use any comparison operator. which include is equal to, not equal to, greater than equal to, less than or less than equal to as well. So
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.